Tansei, good afternoon. I'm Krisanach Kate. Welcome to APTN National News. Thank you for joining us. The National Advisory Committee on Residential Schools, Missing Children and Unmarked Burials says the federal government has decided to discontinue its funding. For the past 3 years, the committee has been identifying, locating and commemorating missing Indigenous children who were forced to attend Canada's residential schools. The funding agreement will end on March 31st, and the committee's request for continued funding was denied. In a statement from the committee, they say they are extremely disappointed and are urging the federal government to reconsider. The committee has been providing expert advice, guidance, and support for First Nation, Inuit, and Métis communities as they search for missing and disappeared children and locating unmarked burial sites in relation to the residential school system. The committee is led by residential school survivors. They brought together experts in forensics, health, archaeology, archives, and police to aid in their work. In a statement, Kona Williams with the National Advisory Committee said, "We urge the federal government to reconsider this decision, which we believe to be a giant step backwards on the path of reconciliation. As the daughter of a residential school survivor and elder who contributed to the TRC, this is also deeply personal." APTN News will continue to follow this story. According to a number of health agencies, First Nations in northern Saskatchewan are seeing a jump in strep pneumonia cases, and at least one death may be linked to the disease. The health agencies are not declaring an outbreak, but they note there was 49 infections in 2024, a 53% increase in strep pneumonia cases in First Nations in Saskatchewan over the previous year. The ages of people infected with the disease has also increased in range from the previous 22 to 71 years of age in 2023 to 1 in 84 years old in 2024. A health expert tells APTN News that they are seeing an increase of the disease in patients who share drugs through smoking devices like pipes. Symptoms of the disease include fever, chills, cough, and difficulty breathing. Doctors recommend that if you do have symptoms, seek medical help immediately and practice good hygiene like hand washing and wearing a face mask. You can read more about this story from our web reporter, Leanne Sanders, who will be going over to our website at www.aptnnews.ca. Canada's 3 northern premiers say it's a critical time for the North as the country faces rising political tensions and tariff threats with the United States. Premiers Raj Pillai, R.J. Simpson, and P.J. Akiawak participated in a panel hosted by the Canada Institute and the Polar Institute in Washington, D.C. on Thursday. Much of the discussion focused on opportunities for Arctic collaboration between northern Canada and the U.S. The Premier said Canada's north is unique because of its large landmass, abundance of critical minerals, and strategic location in matters of Arctic security. They also said there needs to be more investments in the north from Canada and the U.S. so the true potential of the region can be fully unlocked.
We're happy the rest of North America is now also talking about this, because we've been talking about infrastructure, critical minerals, Arctic security for many years, and the rest of the world has finally caught up given what has happened. Hopefully not too little too late. Hopefully it's right on time, and we can move forward together.
All 13 of Canada's premiers traveled to Washington Wednesday in an effort to thwart President Trump from imposing tariffs on Canadian goods. Saskatchewan RCMP is asking for the public's help in locating a woman after she went missing following an armed robbery in North Battleford. The incident happened this morning at around 5 a.m. RCMP say an adult male armed with a firearm approached a vehicle with 2 adult females inside. The man threatened the women and stole the vehicle. One of the females, 33-year-old Liana Frenchman, was reportedly still inside the vehicle, and police have yet to locate her. Police say the man and the woman are not known to each other. The man was last seen driving in North Battleford in a red 2007 Pontiac Grand Prix, a car similar to the picture here, with Saskatchewan license plate 186 NSA. Leanna Frenchman is 5'6", 105 pounds. She has brown eyes and brown hair. RCMP says they are working on finding a newer picture of Frenchman, as her current description does not match the picture submitted here. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477. A video posted on social media and then quickly deleted recently sparked outrage. It shows an Alberta RCMP officer in the Cold Lake area punching an Indigenous woman in the face while she is on the ground during an arrest. APTN's Chris Stewart has more in this report.
Somebody. Hey! Don't you touch me or you're getting arrested too.
Whoa! Whoa! On Sunday, January 5th at around 3:49 p.m., Cold Lake RCMP said they were attempting to arrest a woman after she went 79 kilometers over the speed limit. The woman in the video, who asked not to be identified, was on the ground when she lifted an arm towards the officer. He then responded by punching her in the nose. Due to the graphic nature of the video, APTN News is not showing you the video of her bloodied face. The RCMP K Division in Alberta responded to APTN's news in a statement, which read in part that the woman was stopped after she was speeding, going 179 kilometers an hour in a 100-kilometer speed zone. And once she was pulled over, the RCMP says she resisted arrest and grabbed the officer repeatedly and did not listen to lawful commands, resulting in the officer striking her. The woman now has 4 pending charges, including flight from police, assaulting and resisting a police officer, and failing a roadside impairment test. The woman in the video told APTN News that the officer used excessive force against her, including the use of a taser, which was ineffective. She said she was scared for her safety, adding that her family member was shot and killed by the RCMP just last December. An RCMP spokesperson added, "While we never want incidents to escalate to a point in which altercations occur, de-escalation techniques are a necessity of our job." Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.
The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs says there are systemic failures in Manitoba's health care and social services system that are having a detrimental impact on First Nation children. At a news conference this week, the Assembly was joined by councillors from the Norway House Cree Nation in northern Manitoba and members of the Albert family who attempted to receive supports for one of their loved ones. Susan Albert says her niece was sent to the Manitoba Adolescent Treatment Center in Winnipeg for help after experiencing a psychotic episode. But Albert says her niece was never properly diagnosed and was sent home without supports after living at the MATC for 6 months.
We, the family, are seriously concerned about the systematic failures our loved one has experienced while under the care of Manitoba Adolescent Treatment Center, also known as MATC.
Sex Plus Week is recognized in Canada from February 10th to the 16th, where sexual health and safe practices are brought to the public eye to combat the spread of sexually transmitted infections and unwanted pregnancies. Although Canada as a whole has seen a rise in documented STI cases, one region stands out among the rest. The Northwest Territories has seen an ongoing syphilis outbreak, where rates increased by 253% between January 2019 and April of 2022, making it the highest growing rate in Canada in those years. The Northwest Territories Health and Social Services Authority says if you have been exposed to syphilis, visit the temporary STI clinic in Yellowknife to get tested immediately, or go to your local healthcare center. The health authority strongly advises sexually active people to use condoms, limit and know your sexual partners, and to always get tested, especially after every new sexual partner, in order to stay STI free. For more information, call the NTHSSA's 24/7 medical advice hotline at 811 or visit their website at nthssa.ca. Numerous people and language speakers gathered in Saskatoon this week to help preserve Indigenous languages.
I encourage young people to go to ceremonies. I encourage young people to go to powwows and start hearing in people speaking the language. Ask questions, ask many questions. There's no wrong answers and there's no wrong questions. And so It's, you know, at the end of the day, I hope that the language, as it was spoken for countless centuries on our lands, be spoken again by future generations.
The 19th annual First Nations Language Keepers Gathering is a two-day event hosted by the Saskatchewan Indigenous Cultural Centre. It features keynote speakers, panels, and discussions about the preservation and revitalization of the First Nation languages spoken in Saskatchewan, including Plains Cree, Swampy Cree, Woodland Cree, Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota, along with Soto and Dene. One Indigenous teacher believes while knowledge keepers and elders possess the ability to speak those languages and are willing to pass it on, there are also needs to be knowledge seekers as well. Organizers encourage young people to participate in ceremonies with an open mind. Film production lessons are being offered in Northern Ontario, and this week's Juno nominations are in. Those stories and more when we're back in about 3 minutes. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. An Indigenous Education Institute in Northern Ontario is teaming up with a film school to offer training in film production through an Indigenous lens. The partnership is designed to equip students with not only filmmaking skills, but also to provide a deep understanding of Indigenous storytelling. Here's APTN's Mike McDonald with more.
Manitoulin Island-based Wingush Film Institute provides hands-on media arts training. They say they're dedicated to empowering Indigenous creators through professional mentorship, immersive learning, and land-based teachings. The Institute's vice president says the time has come for Indigenous people to tell their own stories.
I think in recent years, a lot of Indigenous stories have been diluted. What with the rise of what people are calling pretendians, sort of telling that sort of washed down, watered down stories of Indigenous culture and Indigenous history. And it's important to put the tools into people who have actually had that lived experience, rather than having a romanticized idea of the experience.
Wingush is offering its short film production certificate program through a partnership with Sault Ste. Marie-based Shingwak Kinumagegamig, which currently offers courses in Anishinaabe-Moen and Anishinaabe studies. Officials here say a film production course fits in nicely with current programming.
It's actually bridging our past and our future. Storytelling has always been a very important part of who we are as Anishinaabe people. That's how knowledge is transferred. That's how we relate to each other. It's community building. So, and now the future with media and entertainment could be a valuable storytelling piece. As
part of the course, Wingush will offer student mentorship, which they hope will drive home the importance of authentic storytelling.
I absolutely believe that minorities, we have voices that need to be heard, and I think that it's important for us to get out there and tell our stories and be as truthful and as authentic as possible. And myself not being an Indigenous but being a minority myself, I do feel like that this is a great opportunity for us to go out there.
And the course will take students through the entire process of making a film.
Screenwriting, producing, directing, production, editing, and marketing your film. So it takes you through the entire process, start to finish, of how a film gets made and how a film gets sold, which is something that's rarely ever tapped into.
The short film production certificate program is set to launch here at Shingwak Kinumagegamig in September, and registration is open now. Mike McDonald, APTN National News, Sault Ste. Marie.
This year's batch of Juno Award nominees were announced earlier this week. The A-list includes some of Canada's most successful musicians, including a number of new and current Indigenous artists. APTN's Veronica Blackhawk has more.
BBE, Single of the Year.
This year, several Indigenous artists are nominated for awards in the mainstream categories. The artists Elizabeth, Sebastian Gaskin, Andrew Belfour, Snotty Nose Rezkids, Kim Gucci, and Wyatt C. Lewis have all been nominated in non-Indigenous categories. Elizabeth for Album of the Year and Adult Alternative Album of the Year on Inuktitut. Sebastian Gaskin, Recording Engineer of the Year on their single Ghost, engineered by Hilk Cordes. Andrew Belfour for Classical Album of the Year, The Large Ensemble on Ispisuin. Snotty Nose Rezkids for Rap Album of the Year and Rap Single of the Year on Red Future and BBE. Kim Gucci for Children's Album of the Year on Shunbe Natsuji We Are Healing Through Songs. Wyatt C. Lewis for Album Artwork of the Year on Chandler. The Contemporary Indigenous Artist of the Year Award nominees are Adrian Sutherland, Sebastian Gaskin, Kaylee Cardinal, Snotty Nose Res Kids, and Tia Wood. The Traditional Indigenous Artist or Group of the Year nominees include Black Bear Singers, Brianna Lizotte, Cree Confederation, Northern Cree, and Young Spirit. While the Indigenous categories were instrumental to the awards ceremony's progress towards reconciliation, the industry agrees being Indigenous shouldn't limit an artist's inclusion in all categories. I'm Veronica Blackhawk with APTN National News.
Congratulations to all the Indigenous nominees. You make us all very proud. Now here's a reminder of our new web poll questions for this week. Over on our website, we ask, would you support a safe consumption site opening in your neighborhood? Your answers are yes, no, or unsure. Our second question we ask, do you agree with the decision to strip Buffy St. Marie of her Order of Canada? Your choices are yes, no, or unsure. And our third question, do you think anything has changed in Canada's policies since the siege of Kanesatake in the 1990s? Your answers are yes, no, or unsure. Go to our website at www.aptnnews.ca to have your say, and we'll post the results next Tuesday. T.R. Wheatley is back with another Mother Tongue Teachings. We're back in less than 3 minutes. Starting on the east, St. John 0, Charlottetown -8. Cartwright -11, La Grande River -20. Quebec City -11, Montreal -10. London and Sun -7, Toronto -6. Sudbury -13, Sioux Lookout -22. Churchill -34, Thompson -32. -31 in Princess Harbour, Dauphin -27. -30 in Yorkton, Regina -25. -41 in Uranium City, Buffalo Narrows -35. -22 in Peace River, High Level -23. -18 in Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, same temperature. Kamloops -2, Quesnel -11. Sand Spit 3, Smithers -10. Dawson -10, Mayo -14. -27 in Wrigley, Norman Wells -24. Fort McPherson -28, Colville Lake, Sun and -31. Cambridge Bay -26, Baker Lake -33. And Resolute -12, Iqaluit -18. With the 2025 Invictus Games in BC in full swing, APTN's Tina House has been following along and was recently joined by the 2024 Olympic silver medalist in rugby sevens, Shea Valenzuela, to speak more about the event that is taking place in Vancouver. Tina?
Thank you. We're here at the Invictus Games, and joining me today is somebody who knows a little bit about sports, Shea Valenzuela. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Shea Valenzuela. I grew up in Abbotsford, BC. I'm from the Nulchinal tribe in Port Alberni. I'm the first Indigenous woman to win a silver medal for rugby sevens at the Paris 2024 Games.
Wow, congratulations. What was that moment like, getting that silver medal?
It was surreal. We worked so hard for the last 4 years to get there and had to overcome so many barriers to be there. So it was just surreal and just so grateful that I had the opportunity to go there and stand on the podium with my team.
And here you are cheering on Team Canada here at Invictus. What's it like to see all these incredible war vets from around the world participating in sport?
It's inspiring. They are heroes. The amount of resilience they show is inspiring to us, and we're just super grateful to be able to watch them in person and support other rugby athletes.
Okay, now rugby is a tough sport from what I've seen. How did you get into that?
I started with soccer and wrestling, and when I found rugby, I was like, this is the best of both worlds. So I fell in love, and I've been playing ever since.
Okay, take me to that moment when you're on the field with your teammates, the score is tight, and you want to win. Where do you go in your mind to get to that headset to get into win?
I think the biggest thing is I don't want to let down my teammates. I'm repping the jersey. I don't want to let down my country, and you just have so much pride and you have so much trust with your teammates on the field. So it just really motivates you to push hard and get in that dark place and don't give up, and you got to win.
And what's it like seeing all these war vets here doing their best on their healing journey?
Yeah, I think it's very, very similar resilience that you have to show in training every single day, and I think what they've gone through and the strength they've shown, I think it can inspire the entire world. And I think more people need to look at them and be in awe and how amazing, inspiring that they are. So.
And do you have some words of encouragement to Indigenous youth that are interested in getting into sport and to be at your level?
Yeah, I'd say, follow your passions. I mean, there's going to be barriers and there's going to be things you have to overcome to face it, but if you trust yourself and you back yourself throughout the process, you will get there. Be kind to yourself throughout that process because it is not a linear journey and you just have to back yourself and go for it.
Amazing. Yeah. Shalia, thank you for taking the time to join us. We're so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you in studio.
Thank you, Tina and Shay. It's time now to take you to the roots of Indigenous languages with mother tongue teachings here on the Nooncast. All month long, we are bringing you phrases of the day for I Love to Read Month. For today's special Valentine's Day segment, APTN's Tiara Wheatley and Veronica Blackhawk bring you this Swampy Cree teaching.
Dollarama.
I'm T.R. Wheatley. And I'm Veronica Blackhawk.
And she's my little sister.
And that's my big sister.
And we're here to make Valentine's Day gifts for our coworkers.
Real Indigenous.
Sagituin. Loosely translated, a couple times, loving or caring for someone. So I learned the teaching from my grandma, a word for Happy Valentine's Day. Of course, she had to go all elder on me. But she said that's a colonizing holiday, which true, it is. Normally for a day, you usually say something like Mino Gisagaw, that's a good day. We say Mino Sagituin Gisagaw. And she said, you can, but it's kind of redundant. In the Cree language, Sagituin kind of stands on its own. Being, like it has its own, I don't know if heartbeat, but to a Cree person, when you say that word, it just embodies so much. She's like, but the most English way I could describe it to you, and that's why I said loosely translated, it's either loving someone or caring for someone. Sag, e, do, win. Don't come at me for the spelling. This is how I remember how it's spelled. We'll start over here. Hey, Jess.
Hey.
Word of the day, Sagituin. So, Sagituin.
Sagituin.
Both me and Veronica.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Sagituin.
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 Sagituin. Sagituin.
And lightly translated in Cree, you're loving or caring for someone. I just want to say I appreciate you. Aww.
Thank you, Tiara and Veronica, and thank you for the candy too. That was very sweet of you. For that mother tongue teachings and all the others, head over to our website, aptnnews.ca/mother tongue teachings. And that's your daytime newscast for this Friday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Make sure to hug and show your appreciation for your significant other out there today. We're back in a few hours with your evening newscast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you back here for this newscast next Tuesday. Excellent.